What's going on? What is going on? Uh Going live just to kind of talk about some things. It's been a few days. Um I guess I really didn't have no topic, but money talk is always good. Talking about the money cuz the money usually is a big problem that people have. So this is a financial channel. We do talk about finance, right? Personal finance, talk a little bit about business for those that can have that conversation. Why not? Late at night, where everybody's talking about whatever they're talking about, let's talk about the big problems, talk about the money, okay? That's uh that's always a good topic. So, um, that's a good question, okay? What is going on right now? What let me open up the markets and see what's going on. Uh see what's what. Let's see if I can find some news stories, see what's going on with finance wise. Let's see here. Trump tariffs on cheap Chinese imports will cost big techs billions of dollars. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess so. Let's see here. Let's see what else we got here. Um, mm, RFK says new patients should do their own research into vaccines. Mm, 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 China says doors always open for talks. Mm, 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 mm. Delivery hero needs to show more progress. Okay. Um. Wow, this is a big one. Jeff Bezos to sell nearly $5 billion in stocks. Ooh, this is kind of juicy right here. I guess I gotta. Guess this kind of catches my attention. So this is from Fox Business. Jeff Bezos to sell nearly $5 billion of Amazon stock. Okay, that's interesting. Uh,
Ever wanted to stay on vacation longer? Us too. With Vrbo's long stay
let's minimize that. Turn that off. Um, it said Amazon said Friday in its quarterly report filed with the SEC that billionaire founder adopted a trading plan intended to satisfy 10b5.5-c 5-1c early last month to part ways with up to that many shares. The 25 million Amazon shares had a value of 4.7 billion as of Friday morning. The plan enables Bezos, who founded Amazon more than 3 decades ago and serves as company's executive chair, to sell the shares over a period ending on May 29, 2026, subject to certain conditions per quarterly report. Amazon last share price was $189.98. Okay. So it looks like he's trying to get rid of some of his ownership in Amazon. Okay, so he's trying to sell off some of his ownership, some of his shares of Amazon. Okay. I don't know if this is good for someone that's holding Amazon shares. If you got the founder selling off their shares and you're holding Amazon shares, is that I don't know what that sentiment brings to you as an Amazon shareholder. I mean that I would say something like that would probably get me to short the market or short or put a put up for option for Amazon. If I got the owner selling off his shares, that's gonna make an impact on the overall share price or even sentiment for Amazon. But yeah, that's kind of some major news, I guess you could say. Jeff Bezos is trying to sell off his shares in Amazon. Okay. So that's one juicy nugget right there. Um let's see what else we could see here. I don't really see anything else. Yeah, I don't see much else. Yeah, most people probably sleep, sleeping around. Let me see what's going on my Facebook page. Ah, man. The the guy the diaper dude, Brandon Jamal, he had a run in with somebody in Chicago. I don't even know. I don't even want to play this because this is just ridiculous. Yeah, I don't want to play that. He's basically on the street videotaping somebody fighting their baby mama, and the little kid is just on a sidewalk just looking at it. Um, yeah, so I'm not gonna play that. But this is interesting. I will play this. This is very interesting. It's a very short video, but this is just kind of women just being honest and kind of explaining themselves. All right, so let's mute that. So she says, "You only f with broke ninjas because you can control them." And she's got some music playing in the background, and she's like, "Yeah," like she's doing the whole "yeah," like yes. And I mean, this is what I've been saying for years. Like other men have been saying it. Some women have explained that it's real simple. Like those that have the money have the control. Money comes with control, certain levels of control. It's just basically like this. It's real simple. It's basically all right. So if you got the money, right? If you got the wherewithal, you have titles and rights to property. Like for example, if you have an apartment, you have temporary access to this piece of property. Well, if you're dating a woman and you're not on the lease and you basically just live with her and you having sex with her, you're you don't have any rights to that property. She has the rights for the property because she pays for it, and she has her name on the lease of that property. You're just coming there to visit. You're a visitor. So she knows that, so she can kick you out whenever she wants to, whenever she's tired of you. She can call the police and get you removed, permanently. You don't have any rights to her property, and that's, a lot of times men don't really understand. Like, it just, women will look at you like, okay, yeah, you're great in bed. Because see, here's the thing, right? This is kind of the two things about life, right? So, um, you could call it livelihood, it's livelihood or lifestyle, and then you have, you could just say, let me try to make this PG as possible. So you have livelihood, and let's just call it sex. Let's just call it sex, right? Sex and livelihood, or lifestyle and sex. Let's just say lifestyle and sex. So with lifestyle, doesn't necessarily, there are two different things, obviously. Lifestyle and sex are two different aspects. A lot of what women go to rich men or men that have money or means, they go to those men because they want a particular lifestyle. And some of those men do offer, a good level, or a satisfying level of sexual, basically, let's just say satisfaction for women, for some women, right? Not all of them offer that, but they offer the lifestyle. So what a lot of times what women will do is they'll get with the men that have the lifestyle, that offer the lifestyle, but then they will cheat on that same guy with the guy that gives them the sex that they find satisfying. And then this goes into, they get caught, they get kicked out, and then the chick is upset because what does she lose? She loses the lifestyle. She no longer has access to the lifestyle from the sex guy. The sex guy is just great in bed. He's great sexually. He offers her some level of sexual satisfaction, but he does not have the lifestyle to satisfy that woman. He lives with his mom, and he's got he sleeps on an air mattress in one of his mom's rooms in her house, or in her section 8 or whatever. He doesn't have the lifestyle that that woman is accustomed to or desires. So she wants to have her cake and eat it too. Therefore, she's going to cheat a lot of times with the sexually satisfying guy on the lifestyle guy, the guy that's offering the lifestyle that she wants, right? So this is something in reverse, because you got some women that are independent like her, and they deal with broke men because they're, like she says it, they're easy to control. Well, the man with the lifestyle, he's not necessarily going to give up his money if the woman is cheating on him, and he knows the woman is cheating on him. He's not going to give up his access to his lifestyle, his money, his actual, like, this is the thing that people don't really understand about money, right? Or let's just, the idea of having, let's just call it a high value lifestyle, right? Meaning you have a nice house in a nice neighborhood, and you got decent cars. That's a particular type of lifestyle. Let's even say you got a big house in a gated community, and you got some nice vehicles. You got a Audi, you got a Mercedes, you might have a Tesla. That's a particular lifestyle. That is the American suburban upper class lifestyle in America. Okay, women like men that offer that lifestyle, like women in general. I'm not even just talking about black women. A lot of women like that particular type of lifestyle. That lifestyle costs, I'll just say in the Midwest, that lifestyle costs about at least $500,000. That lifestyle costs $500,000, right? The nice McMansion, gated community, cars, luxury cars. That's about $500,000 lifestyle. Now you can have that lifestyle, and basically you could get a mortgage on the house and you can get car payments on the cars. That's what typically most people do, right? And you got a decent job. You got, let's just say, a tech job, right? And your tech job is, paying you over $8,000 a month. You could pay for that lifestyle. Well, like I say, most of the times a man is not going to allow a woman to enter that lifestyle without some type of loyalty, meaning she's going to stick by his side. She's not going to cheat on him, and that requires a lot for some women that don't really like these guys, right? They really want them because of their particular lifestyle. And I have not said anything about spending any money on anything. If you notice, I haven't said anything about spending any money on a woman. Your actual, like your lifestyle, like a lot of times people don't understand. A lot of guys don't understand. I mean, they do understand. I think they do. Most guys understand that your lifestyle is why women want to break shit. They want to break your car windows, your house windows when they break up with you, or you stop, capitulating to their foolishness. The reason why they want to crash your gaming system, your TV, and your house and your cars and all of that is because they're losing that lifestyle. They're losing access to that lifestyle. The paying money, the ordering DoorDash, the ordering things for your particular, girlfriend, or going out to eat and all of these things. Those are just bonuses, but you know, not to mention it's like a caveat, but when you break up with them, they don't have anyone else to replace you. You're not easily replaceable, so a lot of times that's when women put up a fit when they break up with you, because you have a particular high lifestyle that they don't have access to regularly and available. It's rare. It's not something that comes every day. Not, the average man makes about 40 grand a year, and is barely able to pay for a 1-bedroom apartment, let alone a McMansion in a gated community with a couple luxury vehicles. And it's like, I mean, it's that cost, that $500,000 cost is Midwest prices. If you go to the Northeast and West Coast and California and all, Seattle and all that, you're talking about millions of dollars. Now you're talking millions of dollars, so it's a big deal, right? And you got some women like her in this video. She particularly stays away from guys like that, because those guys don't allow women to control them in the sense of they're the ones that usually are in control. Okay, you don't get to no level where you got a nice extreme McMansion with a couple luxury cars and you're not a patriarchal figure. Most guys that I know that have had this type of lifestyle, most of those guys were white, I'll say, and they're basically the idea of what you think a man will be of the house. They're a man of the house. Whatever they say goes. They're patriarchal figures. Well, women that don't really know how to live in that type of reality, which is a lot of them, they would rather get with men that have financial issues because they can flip it around and control them. Because even a chick that has a secretary job, she can control a man that doesn't have any job, that is a hobosexual. You know, hobosexuals, this is like, okay, this is kind of like it's kind of personal. He's where I'm going is kind of personal with this conversation because it's a reason why I'm actually talking about this because I kind of got to get some shit off my chest. Okay, so this is hobosexual conversations. It's when you're this woman is talking about she dates broke guys, so that's what she's talking about. She's going into hobosexual territory when she's talking about stuff like that because a lot of times guys that don't really have that much money, what they don't tell you is a lot of times you might have some people that are outliers, but most guys that don't have money, they kind of take whatever they can get. And that means women like her as well, because, basically they're dealing with sometimes women that do have, most of the time they're dealing with a woman that just has a job, and it's like just not even a really expensive or really high paying job, just a chick with just a regular job. If they're not gainfully employed or might have, a bad record and, they can't hardly get a job or whatever the case may be is, having them a hard time in the job market or whatever. They might be just gig workers or something like that. They're not making that much. Well, they're beholden to everyone and including the woman that they date, because most of the time the woman that they're going to date is going to have more money than they have, because damn near everybody has more money than they have. So you start to get into a situation where you dealing with women that you don't really like it, but they are controlling, and they're able to control you because you're allowing them to control you, because you don't speak up for yourself. And if you're the type that goes for any type of woman because that's all you think you could deal with, that's what you're gonna be, dealing with. You're gonna be dealing with women like this, where she's blatantly announcing to the world that she deals with broke men in order to control them. I mean, like, I this level of honesty, I have to admit, is like high level, because you really didn't have this level of honesty 5 years ago. Definitely not 10 years ago. You just didn't have this. This was something that was a secret that women probably only talked to other women. But in order to get TikTok views, basically women are saying all kind of shit that they would normally have kept in private amongst other women or even to themselves. So yeah, I mean, this is quite a few women. A lot of women, they don't really, they're not. It's not a lot of women like you think. You would think that a lot of women are actually chasing quote unquote high value men. that is not true. For every woman that probably wants to do that, it watches Shira 7 or whoever influencer that's talking about how to get money from provider men and all of that type of shit. Um, Basically, a lot of women, they're not even equipped to deal with that. They're not. They're not. They're not equipped to capitulate what is needed to get those types of men. One, two, they don't even want those types of men. They just at the lastly, only thing is that they do want that type of lifestyle. They want to actually have access to the lifestyle that they see from other women, that have men that have certain lifestyles. They just don't, like I say, you got two camps of women. One, women that are not capable of even delivering what is needed to be able to capitulate to those men that they quote unquote want. Then you got women that they don't want to do it. They're just kind of like they're interested into the idea, but they can't do that because they know, um they wouldn't even try. Even if they wanted to, they wouldn't even try because they have some type of attitude about certain men of power. They don't like they boss it, they work their job, all kinds of things that they got a problem with. And for like the latter parts of women that you know are left over, yeah, they're gonna try to deal with certain men of high net worths. I mean high net worth. They're gonna try to deal with those men. They're gonna do the show up at happy hour and all of that type of stuff. And that doesn't mean that they're going to qualify for those men. It's a certain type of aesthetic. Like, I mean, to be honest, this is what pimps do. They tell women how to dress, what to put on, even how to be like basically high class escorts, basically. Because it's a certain type of aesthetic, it's a certain conversation. I mean, basically a high price escort is basically a college educated chick that knows how to very much communicate, and she knows how to dress. She knows how to dress inside that high class world. That's pretty much what it was. That's what it is. A lot of women cannot, even her. A lot of women can't get intertwined into that world because they don't have the look. They don't have the aesthetics. They don't have the conversation. They don't have the class to even delve into that world. So it's a thing, where, like I say, a lot of women, they're not even into that. Like you would think like it's a whole bunch of women. It's all of these Shira 7 warriors out here. They're not even in. Trust me, they're not even showing up nowhere. They're not doing anything besides using dating apps. They're hoping to find the next simp on a dating app. That's as far as a lot of them women go. They're not going to no happy hour. They're not going to no fucking yacht parties, none of that shit. They're just fucking on the outside looking in, probably at best using a dating app or on some type of sugar baby website or something like that, hoping to see if they can catch somebody. And a lot of times, even if they did, they wouldn't even know how to deal with that person unless they got coached along and tried to, impersonate someone else to try to, uh, get close to the guy that they trying to date, because they're so opposite of that type of lifestyle that most women are lower class, and they're lower class because they want to be, and they're programmed to be that way. Class is not something that is very like, it's not like something that is like you can actually be high class very easily. You know why a lot of people have a class issue? You know why a lot of people actually have a class issue? This is the reason why a lot of people have class issues. And I'm gonna bring this scale up, just to explain. So people people that of the lower classes, which is actually high up here, the 85s, 87s, and so on. The reason why people stay that way and are that way is because it's a consensus of people that they grew up around, that they looked up to, that were that way. And they that's just kind of how people are. Like, if your friends are on a low class level and that's who you grew up around, that's who that's who you going to be. If you I mean, like, you capitulate to your surroundings and the people that you surround yourself with. So a lot of times, this is why people are stuck in a particular class, because that's who their friends are, that's who their social groups are. And then, before you know it, you're locked into that class. And trying to get out of it is not impossible, but damn near, because that's who you locked into. That's how you dress. When you take a woman shopping that's 85 and 87, she's going to go for a particular, if you give her like $1,000 gift card, she's going to go and find she's going to go buy stuff that is on her level as far as class. If she's an 85 or 87 type of black woman, she's going to go get certain things, like she's going to get her nails done, and they're going to be very they're going to be aesthetically ghetto. Okay, she's going to get the eyelashes that is really, really big. She's going to get the weaves and the wigs, right? She's going to get basically a ghetto uniform, right? And she doesn't look at it like it's a ghetto uniform. She looks at it as, this is her peer group. These are who she's around. This is who she's trying to please. She doesn't even know anything else. That's all she knows. So when it comes down to it, when that's your everyday outfit, you're dating those guys, and trying to get outside of that, it's impossible. You don't have the uniform on, you don't have the communication to get men that are, you're trying to target men that are 92s and 100 octanes and masters of the universe. You don't even have their outfit. You don't speak their language. You don't know what they're talking about. You don't have the uniform. You don't have the communication. You don't know the language. You don't speak the language. And there's a small supply of women that actually can even do what Shira 7 is talking about, or insert high, whatever influencer, dating coach, femininity coach, sugar baby coach. They cannot bridge outside of this lower level, even if they try to. It's a very small percentage of women that can be on some like Eve type stuff. Very small, because you got to understand, they one have to be They need more than some broad that's got a fucking microphone and a TikTok and a YouTube page. They actually have to be around actual people that are a higher class. That's one. That's the fucking obvious thing. They have to be around people of a higher class and be concentrated around them. And the only way to really do that is if you're actually physically in their environment. Like, to be honest, you know, that's what I did. That's what I mean. Not like purposefully. It's just proximity of like who I grew up around and places I actually been. That's who I was around. I was living in the suburbs. You live in a mix socioeconomic environment. You're not too far away from rich people, you're around poor people, you're around middle class people, upper middle class people. All those people are around, depending on where you live, right? But the thing is that, well, if you gravitate towards lower class people and you think that's where you're comfortable at, and that's all you know, you're not going to even be able to, like, besides basically selling blocks, get in that 100 octane 92 octane world, masters of the universe world. You're not going to it's no competition. Okay, those women don't have no chance trying to even get past getting taken serious from a man of those higher classes. They're not going to take them serious. Okay, because the first date conversations is certain conversations a 92 octane man is going to have. And when I say 92, I'm talking about like basically professional level man to even higher to a global elite type of man. Okay, you know, those conversations are way different than, okay, general conversations like, you know, talking about cars, talking about what you ate for dinner, what you're gonna cook for dinner, like basic stuff that you would have conversations with basic people. You're not going to have those conversations with a man that is college educated, higher thought, higher mindsets. They're going to be talking about business. They're going to be talking about wealth conversations. They're going to be talking about stock markets, politics. They're going to be talking about maybe even stuff about books, certain books, authors, famous authors, old authors that's no longer living. They're going to be talking about music. You know, do you know anything about classical music? Do you know about Beethoven? Do you know about Bach? Okay, do you know about Mozart? Can you even do you even know any songs by Beethoven, Mozart, Bach? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know any fucking like any songs whatsoever? Like, if the answer is no, you know, I mean, yeah, you might be able to get some ghetto dude that probably got a good job in corporate America after college, maybe possibly, that, you know, likes to have some Harold's fried chicken on the weekend and is kind of ghetto. You might, but when you talking about a man that is basically grew up in that type of lifestyle where, um, you know, basically is grew up listening to, took piano lessons and knows how to play, you know, freaking Fur Elise. Do you even know what Fur Elise is? You know what I'm saying? Like, he knows how to play Fur Elise on a piano, you know, key for key. He knows how to read sheet music. You have no fucking chance in hell trying to bridge the gap into men like that. without any education, any know-how whatsoever. And that's why most people stay within their class. I'm gonna be honest. The problems that I've had was when I got outside my class. When I started going lower, when at the very base level is 89 for me. If I go when I go, the problems of women that I've definitely had was when I went outside of that and I started to go towards 87s and all of that. I mean, that is hands down where a lot of the problems that I've had, and the thing is that yeah, it a lot of times I understand what that, whole talk about being a sugar baby and all of that type of stuff. Those are, basically you're trying to push women, or women are being intrigued to be basically escorts. You pushing them into the world of being a sugar baby or an escort, and that's what that is. And it's like, can they learn some things over time? Yeah, but at the end of the day, I mean, most people that are, like I say, in that class level, they can see through all of that. They can see that a mile away. um so that's just basically, in short, kind of like a deep dive into why a lot of those Shira 7 warriors will never get that quote unquote man that they think that they're going to want to get. They're out of their league. It's pretty much, they might be able to get like a dope dealer that makes a whole bunch of money in the hood, because that's the way a lot of those women dress. You know, I mean, that's exactly how they dress. It's like this. This is King Von's mother right here. She's 50 something years old, 40 something years old. She's still dressed like she's in high school. Like, this is basically, she's 49 years old. This is what she's still dressing like. She's looking for YNs at 49 years old. That's that reality. That's that cold hard truth, that people don't really, they don't really want to talk about. And Cam Newton had a kind of a conversation. He was talking about with Ace Metaphor, I believe is the dude. I believe that's what his name is. He was having a conversation um with Ace Metaphor on that very topic, about basically women's expectations when they're dating certain men of higher means. Because believe it or not, even after a certain level, there is men that even play sports and they get the money from it and everything. They do learn how to move and navigate into that world. They lean into it, and they learn how to navigate that world. um so let me see here. What we got here. He got a couple clips with him and Ace Metaphor. um let's see this one right here. Let's check this one out.
the taking pictures of, you know, credit card, even give them opportunities to do that.
Because you're selective then.
Because for me, I see how a girl move.
Yeah.
I see what type of content she posts. And this ain't new me. This is old me talking.
Yeah.
And this is new me talking to the old me. Like, bro, we ain't never really changed. Some of our morals did. But it's one of them things like, bro, look how she moving.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, she's in Turks and Caicos, bro. She crying broke to you. So therefore, if she's in Turks and Caicos, she's with another dude. Let's put.
Exactly.
Two and two together, King.
I agree.
Like, hey, bro, she's got a Birkin bag or she got a Louis bag. Like, she's crying broke to you. Somebody bought her that. The first thing that I look at.
See, that's that level, right? That's that, you know, that 89, 87, 85 octane. Primarily, I would say between 87 and 89 octane type of level woman. You got a $20,000 purse or $30,000 purse, and you talking about you're broke. That's like having a wallet and you ain't got no money in it. You know, it's like that does not match up, right? People can see certain things, even certain fashion. You know, do you understand how powerful fashion actually is? People don't really understand even fashion. Watches, which is our accessories. Kevin Samuels really was on to y'all. Like, he was just really getting started, but fashion is actually like really a big deal. It's not really talked about much because a lot of dudes are just average or even below average. But fashion actually says a lot about who you actually are, what you actually put on. It does say a lot about you. Like, for example, lower class women, they'll get, like he's saying, the Chanel purses and the Louis purses, and the, you know, Birkins, most women don't have no Birkin. A Birkin is very, very expensive. But the thing is that a lot of these women do have these accessories and are begging men for money. Those purses doesn't mean you're begging for money. You should never, if you have a Louis Vuitton purse, that's like, okay, Louis Vuitton purses are expensive, thousands of dollars. You know, if you have a particular, like, you dress a certain way, you have Louis Vuitton shoes, red bottoms. You have all of these clothing that are luxurious clothing. Those are for wealthy women. If you're begging, when you have clothing like that, you automatically saying to other men that you're basically faking that you're rich. One, and you probably have other men paying for these clothes. And a lot of women, they give their self up and they give their level of actually who they actually are by behaving like this. And like he this is 100 octane man. Okay, Ace Metaphors, he's trying to get, you know, he's trying to go from YouTube to the 100 octane world, and I guess he has found some success, right? He's a YouTuber that's trying to kind of like go into 100 octane, like Kevin Samuels or insert name here, trying to have success on YouTube, be trying to be the next YouTube millionaire. you know. And yeah, if you are a YouTube millionaire and you have found a way to become a YouTube millionaire, yeah, you are on a level of 100 octane, you know, the DDGs and the, you know, stuff, you know, people like that, right? If you found a way to reach social media stardom with different platforms and shit like that, yeah, you know, you found the unconventional way to get inside the 100 octane world. Now, you know, the thing is that he's not on the level of a Cam Newton. Okay, Cam Newton has been to ESPYs, he's been to Grammy parties, Grammy after parties. He knows how these women move. He's been around these women for decades. He's had money for decades, you know, and he's trying to enter YouTube from the outside in. Like he's already been rich and famous. He's trying to go to YouTube. Ace Metaphor is trying to come from the outside into YouTube and trying to, you know, basically get to the bag, right? So, you know, he knows how these women move.
When any female approaches me, I don't look at her shoes. I don't look at her heels. I don't look at her purse.
The edges?
I look at her wrist.
Oh, okay.
Because I know what a Richard Mille costs. I know what a Rolex costs. I know what a Cartier costs. And if she got on a Cartier and a Van Cleef, oh, baby.
I'm going to be honest with you. I know what a Cartier is. I don't know all of the fashion houses and fashion brands. Like I said, this man has been rich for a long time. He said Van Cleef. Okay, I got some homework to do because I don't know what the fuck Van Cleef is. Maybe maybe Alonzo in the fashion. He's from New York. He knows about different brands. He knows about this stuff, you know, and I suggest you as a man, you trying to, you know, if you the man already or not, if you are the man, you already know fashion is you know, a big deal, right? And you should know all of these brands, right? You know, and it's a good thing to know because when you're trying to navigate that world, whether you're, you know, whatever, you knowing those different brands, you can understand who's faking the funk, right? You know, or not. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of what he's talking about, you know.
I know what your profession is. And the numbers ain't numbering.
I agree.
So when I put that, I'm like, oh, she got a sponsor in her life.
Yeah.
So when you start putting,
and it don't matter. A woman could be a lawyer. She could be a practicing lawyer and have a sponsor and have some rich guy that's, you know, basically helping her out. You know what I'm saying? Giving her, you know, some things for some yum.
putting those two together, and when you really start having these conversations with her and you start saying, like, you dating somebody right now? Like, nah, I'm good. But you got 5 love bracelets on your wrist. You got a Van Cleef and you got a Cartier nail.
And it's like, it's delusion as well, because a lot of these women are delusional and they think that other people can't see that. And especially men. Certain men probably don't look at it. But it is men out here that can see through that, you know. And I mean, you know, I'm like, you know, Cam, he, like I say, he's been in that world for a long time. He's been around, you know, the LA, you know, pretty much circles, Hollywood circles, the New York circles, you know. He's been around. He's been around different circles. So he's seen, how these chicks move.
Well, so
You know, he got one little small. This is like the chain I had. it's like I just know this chain is like the chain I had, man. It's like I had used my stimulus money in 2020 and I bought a chain like this, man. I had to pawn that shit. I was like, God damn it. I was like, what the fuck? I was trying to fix my house up, man. I had to pawn that motherfucker. That motherfucker, I could never get that motherfucker out. But this reminds me of that chain. I'm just getting into the money chain. You know, that's what this chain is. This is the entry level to the game. Like this is like $2,000. And today's gold price is about a little bit over $2,000. You know, I'm just getting into the money chain.
Respectfully.
Who is this? Is this Ace or is this Tony?
No, this is Tony. Okay.
Tony, come on, Tony.
So
talk to me.
Agreed. Right. But the vast majority of average people are having sex before they even know what each other's middle names are.
That's cool. I don't want to know my middle name. That's disrespectful for you.
But my point, but the point I'm making is, you'll have access to another person's body before you know anything about them to say that this person's energy is safe enough to have in your life.
That's cool. But check this out. I'm gonna make this even wilder to hear.
Go ahead.
You can have access to a person's body and all amenities of their body before they even feel comfortable with posting you, which costs nothing.
I agree.
That's nuts, right? So it's like, yo, I asked a female this once. I said, yo, how long does it take a person to make you feel like you can claim them? She said, oh, about 3 weeks. Cool. So this is me asking a female, not that back there in the back. Not that, it's to say like, yo, we got something here. If everything aligns right, he's like, yo, you know, I like Cam, I like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is leading me to a question and say like, what are we? But then I asked a simple question. I said, yo, how long will it take for you to feel comfortable with posting your man? Oh, a year, 2 years.
I feel that though.
But why?
Man, I want to take my L in silence. If you don't, hey, listen, if you turn out to be a whack ass person, let me take that L non-publicly. If you take advantage of me, you break my, cool. But the very moment people find out about your issue or your person, and then it happened, now that L is public. And so I can understand people saying, you know what, let me be sure that this is something that's solid, because if I claim this person in person, especially if that person got some notoriety, right? That person got some notoriety. Now those L's very, very public. Now people going through your page, why the fuck you dealing with him? Look at what he said, blah, 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 blah. So I understand. Because here's the thing. People can endure private L's. That's a different conversation in the household. We on the same page. I know what you got going on. We got our agreements and shit. But to see that other people, they don't know your agreements. They don't know what's going on inside your household. They don't know the benefits y'all give to each other. So now their opinions and shit is all over the fucking internet because they know we talk like that. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going, even if you have posting publicly, man, keep the contents private, because that's the last thing you want to deal with. Motherfuckers don't even know what they talking about, got an opinion on your shit.
I don't agree with that.
Why not? Go ahead, tell me about it.
It's because taking your L in private, taking your L in public, the thing that's the common denominator, you're still catching the L.
Yep. True facts. Yeah, so you know, he kind of, you know, provided something to the discussion. You know, I actually wanted to talk about that. But you know, that was the perfect time to bring that up, because a lot of these women out here are very game goofy. They're very game goofy about who they choose, you know. And you know, you gotta understand, it's people that, trying to put on a front. It's a lot of people that are out here fronting like they got it, but they really don't. And they need you, to keep the lie going. So let me see here. I was going to bring up the finesse 2 times situation, but you know what? I'll just talk about it. One of the things about finesse 2 times, it's cool when you do it, but it's a problem when I do it. Um, finesse 2 times, he had to check himself back up into the. He broke his federal probation, and basically, finesse is a dummy with money, obviously. And you got to understand, man. I mean, I respect those that have money. I respect those that have money. But a lot of times, man, it's just be moving reckless, moving crazy. Just your life is a dumpster fire. And it finally something catches fire. And then now you're burned. And you know what? I guess, since I'm talking about it, man, it's, educational because I tend to, finesse is one of those guys that's an 85, octane guy, man. He's a rapper, so he's in 100 octane world. And he gave a live stream talking about how he went to jail. And how he actually went to jail is it's a lesson to be learned. It's a lesson of basically a 85 octane that is still in a gynocratic state of mind, a gynocratic life, just basically being around gynocrats in the hood level gynocrats, and it's just, I guess it's a lesson to be learned. So I'm gonna play this real quick. Go through this.
I know about the son me nothing, and I supposed to get out here, get my millions, and just because you a bad bitch and you look good and your ass fat and your head fine, I supposed to just shower you with gifts and shit? No, man. Hell no, motherfucker got to work for it. I work for everything I got. You know what I'm saying? So she mad because her daughter can't come into my life and shake me down. So the first time we have a situation.
So let me give you the rundown. So one of his baby mamas. Okay, this is how crazy this is, because I gotta put a lot of stuff, conjunction words together. So one of his baby mama's mother, his baby mama's mama, basically told on the police what he was actually doing. Like, he's on probation. She basically, his baby mama's mother got him arrested, basically. In short, the short story. So all of the things, I just want to just show you how all of the things that ran up to this, and show you how when you deal, like, he ain't really got no choice. I admit it. A hood like him telling his story, I kind of understand who he actually is a little bit more when he told his story, because I didn't know he's basically said he'd been in and out of jail his whole life. So that's all he really knows. He doesn't know anything. You got to understand, men like this, they also have the same problems because they can't get nothing other than hood chicks. That's all they can get is 85 octane maybe 87 octane chicks. That's all they can get. They can't a dude like this. I'm not saying that women wouldn't deal, like he couldn't probably get a woman at a higher level because he is rich. He is 100 octane, right? Which is a wildcat. You know, he's a 85 octane though. He usually gets those types of women. His baby mamas are 85 octanes. And, you know, ratchet, right? He is a ratchet dude, right? You know, very ratchet. And, you know, he's a messy dude, right? When I talk about subprime, it's from a perspective of women, right? For a perspective of me talking about women. But if you wanted to insert what is a subprime man, this is what this is. This is who you would be talking about. Because I mean, this guy's basically he's a male strag, a messy man, a man that's all over the place. This is the type of lifestyle where you just keep throwing stuff under the rug and just moving on. It's like, you know, people living in squalor, people living messed up, and they're just like not cleaning up. They're just throwing shit on the floor, and then next thing you know, it's roaches and everything piled up because they don't just throw it in the trash can. It's too lazy to throw things in the trash can. They got to throw it on the floor, and then they don't sweep up the floor. They just continue on just living their life, just constantly doing that. And then next thing you know, things start to trip on items on the floor because the floor is a mess. You know, your life is a mess because you don't fix all of these problems. You don't deal with these problems. You just pass them on to other people and just go on with your life. And this is what's going on with this guy. Let me, you know, finish playing this, but I just had to give you kind of the rundown before he talks about it.
I put out. I tell him, man, you know, you can get the fuck on out my spot. I put out. But the man in me, right? The man in me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm finna give y'all everything. I'm finna really break this shit down because people always be worried about Suge and her kids. I'm finna tell y'all what's going on. People always be wanting to speak on why the other kids ain't there, why the other kids ain't around, why the other kids woo-woo. You finna learn today. Since y'all want to be a motherfucker, being a motherfucker finna get all the way down to the nitty gritty about this shit. Check this out. Sugar mama is the real deal laws. The real deal police type shit. And you sent to jail or get you fucked off. What we're doing. I didn't know that about this lady at first. I didn't know that shit. I didn't know that about this lady. I didn't know that, you know, she came around me. She came around me like an old sweet lady who want to help and be there so we can go handle our business and make our money and do our shows and do our bookings, and like she just want to be a part of the situation. You know what I'm saying? That's how she came. And I gave this woman a way out. I told this lady, look, you can stay here free. You got your own room. The kids got their own room. Bunk beds, TVs, toys, clothes, all that shit still at my house right now. Right now. You see what I'm saying? So I offered this lady an opportunity. I said, hey, say what? So I move this lady in. I get her own room. I tell them, hey, y'all can do what y'all want to do. Just help me out. Keep the place clean. You know what I'm saying? Keep the place clean. You know what I'm saying? You know, just that's it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm on the road and shit, so I'm busy. I let this lady stay in my house, man, and this lady laid on me like a dirty rag, man. She laid on me like an old dirty rag, man. She watching me and Suge business. She listening to everything me and Suge got going on. I'm thinking that I'm helping her mama. I'm not thinking that I'm helping somebody who's sitting around mad and envious and jealous of me like that. and playing sweet and playing cool. So the woman, man, this woman just fucked me off, man. Man, this woman just tricked me out of my freedom. And I'm gonna tell you something. Man, my PO told me 2 years ago. She said, you smart. I like how you move. It ain't gonna be you to get you fucked up. It's gonna be somebody around you to get you fucked up. And when she told me that, it set on me. I'm like, so I had cut a lot of motherfuckers off. I'm like, nah, I ain't, because if I'm around this nigga, he whatever. But I just can't believe this woman didn't really, so fuck all this. I'm gonna go and get to the point. Sugar ain't got her kids because of her mama. Sugar mama will take the kids, run off with them, threaten to call the police and tell them, I'm gonna call the police and tell them you selling dope. I'm gonna call the police and tell them she buying guns. I'm gonna call the police and tell them y'all got guns in the house. Because she know I'm on federal probation. So this the type of shit this the type of games that these women play. This the type of game that this woman playing with me. So I tell you, I'm like, man, I ain't gonna lie. Until we get this legal shit behind us, all this federal probation shit, let your mama keep the kids. Just make sure them kids straight. Go see them. Go make sure they healthy. Make sure they doing good in school, and send them bacon. Whenever you get a chance to be with them, be with them. But the games your mama playing, I can't allow it around me because your mama is using these kids for bait. Your mama is using these kids for money. Your mama is you. So that's why. That's why. But I can't. I told her that. I said that because I ain't with no police activity. I ain't trying to have the police in and out my business. What the fuck you call it? CPS, the Children Parliament Correctional, or whatever the fuck. I done dealt with them 2 times dealing with King. I'm not trying to be dealing with these white folk, man. I'm not trying to be dealing with these white folks, so I don't want these. So I tell Suge, you know what I'm saying? Like, let mom do, man, listen. So boom. Man, this shit crazy. I done went all this time and got off. For it to be somebody that I helped, though. I can see if it was me. I can see if I did something, I fucked myself up. For it to be somebody that I helped genuinely, we done packed up and went out and went out and had fun.
See, it's like it's something about a lot of hood niggas. That one of the things that I don't get, and it's the gynocracy type shit, the gynocratic leanings, right? It's like the women can do no wrong and they can get unlimited chances. And that shit really just, you see now it backfired. Like, it's like a lot of the women in the hood, they get passes and they get, they get rewarded for bad behavior. And that's why they do what they do, because it's a reward on the other end of bad behavior. And the women, the men, because a lot of times they worship and they overvalue one of the things. See, this is the tripped out thing about simps, right? People think that, and this is hood dudes that say this. Hood dudes always they try to make a narrative as to say simps are non-hood dudes. But no, it's a lot of simps that are in the hood. It's not like being a simp is socioeconomically across all spectrums of socioeconomics. From is wealthy simps, rich simps, It's simps that begging for change. It's simps in the hood. It's simps in the high rises. It's simps in the projects. It's simps in yachts and mansions. And it's like people don't like, a lot of the hood dudes try to push a narrative where all the suburban lame dudes is simps, and they not simps, they the cool guys. But no, they the biggest simps. And I'm like one of the only few that come on here and actually, because I've been on both sides. I've been in the suburbs and I've been in the hood. One of the things about me is I've seen both sides, because that was just how my life was. It's just how my parents, the things that they had to, deal with trying to scale up in life. I was there for the journey. Like, basically, the guys in the suburbs, they're simping with work that their job, from their job, their money that they made from their job, legal job, keyword legal. A nigga in the hood, for the most part, he's doing illegal shit to impress women to fucking have sex with them. He's risking his fucking freedom being locked up beside some bars in a jail, a prison, to fucking buy, to sell whatever, do whatever illegal activities to get funds to impress these women. Who is the fucking biggest simp in that scenario? The dude is risking his actual duty, his booty, and his freedom to get women, or the dude that might, okay, let's say he blows his paycheck. Fuck it. Let's say he fucking blows his whole career. He can go get another fucking job. He can go file bankruptcy. The dude in prison, he's going to be in prison. He's going to be in jail. He's going to have the record from the charges. He's going to have to recover from all of that. It ain't no fucking insurance plan. He can't file no unemployment. None of that shit. And it's like, that's the thing. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up here. So you mean to tell me y'all are not simps? So the lame dudes from the suburbs are the simps, but y'all not. You got to be fucking kidding me. And yeah, I don't get no rebuttals. They know they are. Like, it's so fucked up. This is how crazy this is, right? I got like clips, right? And this clip right here, this dude is one of the biggest dope dealers in basically U.S. history. He was selling for fucking Chapo. He's one of Chapo's biggest distributors. I ain't even know who the hell this guy was until he came on this podcast. Not my podcast, but somebody else's. And he told his story. I want you to watch this. Okay? I want you to watch this short clip here. Cuz this is very key. And this is what I'm telling you. These guys are fucking the biggest simps and the most harmful simps, because they destroying the whole fucking community that's already destroyed, because they want to fucking make some money to impress bitches, hood hoes, and out in all kind of women, in general. Because unlike most men do not date, they're not attracted to women with criminal records. that go in and out of jail. That's just men are not wired that way.
So who raised you?
I was raised by my grandmother and grandfather. And the crazy thing about it, I didn't know that they were my grandfather and grandmother until I got maybe like 6 or 7. I thought they were actually my parents.
Well, yeah, because how would you know?
Exactly. So it finally came to me one day, the light came on that, wait a minute, you call her your uncle and your auntie, and that's, you know, so wait a minute, you know. So that's pretty much how I figured it out. But
and what year were you born?
72.
Okay.
72.
Okay. So you were young when crack first hit.
When crack first hit,
you were a teenager.
I was like 14.
Okay.
I was 14, and you know, I've never been popular, but there were some girls on the corner that I really liked, man. I mean, everybody liked them, and I'm not going to say their name to embarrass them, but I really liked them, but nobody, you know, was looking at a little old me for the most part.
So who raised you?
I was raised by my grandmother and grandfather, and the crazy thing about it, I didn't know that they were my grandfather.
So so basically, long story short, he wanted to go sell drugs. Went to go be one of the biggest dope dealers in U.S. history, just so he can impress some bitches, so they can look at him.
Message.
Together and ate together, sat at the table and shit together. How you cross a nigga that's done for you? How many times I didn't, and you can't say we don't do for them kids. Like, how many times I done just dry gave you $1,000? Dry gave. How many? You want us to show some receipts? Like, so you going around and you letting this narrative build up around Sugar, like she don't beat up for her kids and like she ain't got her kids around her, and you know why she ain't got them around. You know why. You dead motherfucker wrong. Because you know if a motherfucker come over there and get them kids, you gonna send the police. You gonna send the feds to a motherfucker shit, man. You dead wrong, man. And you let it be known you ain't even got no problem. You dead wrong. And I ain't gonna disrespect. I still ain't gonna disrespect you. Cause you an old lady. I still ain't gonna disrespect you. But you dead wrong, man.
So I'm gonna spare you all of that. But yeah, he just went to go check himself in, I think yesterday. So he's back in federal prison. Okay. Mainly because he's fucked up. He's he's messy, and he allowed all these women to come around him because in his mind, his hood gynocratic mind, like he say, women get passes and they can do no harm, so he hopefully when he's sitting there stinking in prison, he's gonna think about how fucked up he his mindset was, trusting all of these women and their mamas. Okay, you know your baby mama putting you through hell. What you think her mama did? You think her mama was an angel? So yeah, this is all I have. I mean, I just had to basically come on here and lace you with a little bit of wisdom, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get on up out of here.
Got money, Amber. It's the one honest.
And not too many of them honest nowadays.
Oh yes, you can. Yes you can. There's some good men out there. But what it is now, it's the women. It ain't the men no more. The women's going bad. The women's going bad. It ain't the men's now. It's the women done gone bad.
You gonna flip the script on us?
Yeah, it's the women done gone bad.
You a woman yourself.
I'm a woman myself, but I don't do half the things I see these women do now.
They don't care no more.
That's when the men don't respect them. That's why. Let me tell you something, Amber. You got to give a man respect to get respect. You know what I'm saying? You got to give your husband respect to get respect. Because if long as you respect him, ain't too much he gonna do wrong.